Stop memorising English prepositions. Seriously, just stop. It doesn't work, it has never worked, and it's never going to work. You know it, and I know it. How many lists have you memorised? At the airport, on the bus, in a car, on Monday, in July, at 5 p.m. It feels like a random chaotic mess of rules just designed to trip you up. And just when you think you've got them, you hear a native speaker say something that completely breaks the rule you just crammed into your brain. But what if I told you that native speakers don't have a giant rule book memorised in their head? What if the real secret to mastering prepositions wasn't about memorising anything at all? In this video, I'm going to show you a powerful, simple mental model that will let you choose the correct preposition intuitively every single time. By the end of this, you won't just learn a few tricks, you're going to fundamentally change the way you see and understand English. Let's be honest for a second. Learning prepositions can feel like you're trapped in a prison with invisible walls. You're constantly bumping into mistakes you just didn't see coming. So why is this so hard? Well, here's a secret. The problem isn't you. It's the method you've been taught. The whole memorization strategy is a trap, and I'm going to show you exactly why it's pretty much guaranteed to fail. First, there's just the sheer volume of them. English has over 100 prepositions, and the big ones like at, in, and on have dozens of different uses. Trying to learn them all by heart is like trying to memorize the phone book. It's a recipe for burnout, not fluency. You spend hours on flashcards drilling pairs like depend on or apologise for, and while that's a little helpful, it doesn't give you the core understanding to use them in new situations. You're memorising phrases, not the system. So when a new situation pops up, you freeze. You've got no rule, no phrase in your memory bank to help you out. The second reason memorisation fails is maybe the most frustrating one: direct translation. This is one of the biggest illusions in language learning. You think, well, in my language we use this one word, so I'll just find the English version. But it almost never works that way. In many languages, a single preposition might cover the ideas of in, on, and at. So if that's your background, you're constantly fighting your own instincts. You might say, I am in the bus, because logically you are inside an enclosed space. But an English speaker says, I am on the bus. And you're just left thinking, why? The rules you try so hard to learn have just let you down. And this leads to the third problem. The rules themselves seem to have a million exceptions. You learn to use at for specific times, like 8 p.m. Makes sense, but then you hear at night, not in the night. Why? Night feels like a period of time, like a container, so in should work, right? Well, you learn you're in a car, but on a plane, you're at the corner of the street, waiting outside, but you're in the corner of the room. It feels completely random. All this chaos creates this deep feeling of uncertainty. Every time you need a preposition, you hesitate. You mentally scroll through your lists, try to find a similar example, and then you guess. And that hesitation is the enemy of fluency. Fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about speaking with confidence and flow. But how can you be confident when the rules keep changing under your feet? The truth is, you've been sold a bad method. The lie is that prepositions are just a long list to be memorised. This approach is what I call the preposition prison. It locks you in a cycle of memorising, forgetting, and feeling frustrated. It forces you to think about grammar instead of just expressing your ideas. But today, we're going to find the key to that prison. And the key isn't another list, it's a new way of seeing. So, we've established that trying to memorise prepositions is a losing battle. It's like trying to build a sandcastle right as the tide is coming in. The moment you think you've built something, it all just collapses. But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if the secret isn't about cramming more information into your brain, but about unlocking an ability you already have? What if you didn't need to memorise any prepositions? Imagine you could just feel which preposition is correct. Imagine approaching a sentence and intuitively knowing whether to use in, on, or at with the same natural ease a native speaker does. And it might sound like magic, but it's not. It's about having the right mental model. A mental model is just a simple way to understand a complex system, and the seemingly chaotic system of English prepositions is built on a secret, incredibly simple visual model. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. This model doesn't rely on your memory, it relies on your ability to visualize. Native speakers aren't running through grammar rules in their heads. They have an intuitive, subconscious feel for space and time that gets expressed through prepositions. That's what we're going to build today. We're going to bypass the lists, the rules and the exceptions and go straight to the blueprint of the language. We're going to replace hundreds of confusing rules with just 3 foundational concepts. 3 simple shapes. These 3 shapes are the key. They work for places, they work for time, and they even work for abstract ideas. Instead of asking, what's the rule, you'll start asking, what's the shape of this idea? This is a complete shift in perspective. We're moving from being a student of grammar, desperately trying to remember rules, to becoming an architect of language. Using simple tools to build meaning, you will no longer be a prisoner of your prepositions. This is a complete shift in perspective. We're moving from being a student of grammar, desperately trying to remember rules, to becoming an architect of language, using simple tools to build meaning. You'll no longer be a prisoner of your prepositions, you'll be in charge of them. So, are you ready to learn the secret? Ready to trade in your long lists for 3 simple ideas that will change everything? Well, let's do it. Alright, here it is. The secret to never forgetting English prepositions. The entire system, all the chaos and confusion, it all boils down to 3 simple visual ideas. 3 shapes: a point, a surface or a line, a container. That's it. Every time you have to choose between the big 3, at, on and in, you just have to ask yourself, am I thinking of this idea as a point or a surface or a container? So let's break them down. Think of at as a tiny specific dot. It's like a pin on a map. It has no real size or duration. It's just a single, precise location in space of a specific moment in time. Let's apply this to place. When we use at, we aren't thinking about being inside or on top of something. We're thinking of a specific meeting point, a coordinate, a single spot. I'll meet you at the entrance of the cinema. We're not thinking about the whole building, just that one specific point, the entrance, where we'll meet. She is waiting at the bus stop. The bus stop is seen as a single point on a journey. You're not inside it or on it, you're located at that specific point. He is sitting at his desk. Why not on his desk? Well, you can sit on a desk, which means you're literally on top. But when you're at your desk, you're at your specific workstation, your point of activity. Look at me. Your gaze is directed to a single point, me. Now, let's use the same precise point idea for time. When we use at for time, we're talking about a precise moment, a point on the clock. The meeting starts at 3 p.m. That's a super specific point in time. I woke up at sunrise. Sunrise is a single event, a point in the day. He finishes work at midnight. Again, a precise point on the clock. This is why we say at night, while the morning or the afternoon feel like long stretches of time or containers. Night is often treated as a specific point on the 24-hour cycle. The point when it's dark as opposed to the day. And this point concept even works for abstract ideas. She is very good at tennis. Her skill is focused on a specific point, the activity of tennis. He was surprised at the news. His surprise is a reaction to a specific point of information. So, rule 1 of our model is simple. If you're thinking of a place, a time, or an idea as a single precise point, you need at. Now for our second shape. Think of on as contact with a surface or being on a path or a line. The key idea here is connection. Let's start with the obvious one, place. This is about physically touching the surface. The book is on the table. It is touching the surface of the table. Simple. There is a picture on the wall. The picture is supported by the wall's surface. I have a new shirt on. The shirt is on the surface of the body. He lives on the 3rd floor. A floor is a flat surface in a building. And this surface idea is exactly why we say on the bus, on the train, or on a plane. This confuses so many people. You're inside them, right? Well, yes, but we think of these big public transport vehicles as platforms. We step onto them. We travel on a large moving surface. You can walk around on a bus or a train. They are surfaces. We'll contrast this in a car in a bit. Now, how does this surface or line idea work for time? Think of the week as a line of 7 days. A specific day is a point on that line. The party is on Saturday. Imagine the week laid out in a line. Saturday is the one spot you're standing on. Her birthday is on 15th of March. Think of the calendar as a big grid, a surface. A specific date is one square on that surface. We will meet on that day. You're pointing to a specific spot on the timeline. This is why we use on for days and dates, but in for bigger things like months and years. A day is a point on a line. A month is a container full of ideas. And for abstract concepts, the surface or line idea still works. He is on the team. A team is like a rota, a list of names. Here's a name on that list. This book is on the history of Rome. The subject covers the surface of a topic. She is talking on the phone. The conversation is happening along a line of communication. It's on the internet. The internet is seen as a huge digital surface where information lives. So, rule number 2, if the idea involves a surface, a line, or a platform, the preposition is on. Our last shape is in. Think of in as being inside a container with boundaries. It can be a 3D or box or a 2D area on a map, or even a container of time. The key is that you are enclosed or surrounded. Let's start with place. This is the most obvious use of in. The milk is in the fridge. The fridge is a 3D container. I live in London. A city or country is a large container with borders on a map. You're inside those borders. The keys are in my pocket. The pocket is a little container. He is swimming in the pool. The pool is a container for water. Now, let's go back to that on the bus example. We say in a car or in a taxi. Why? Because a car is a small private space that you're enclosed in. You can't really stand up and walk around. You're inside a personal container that moves you. A bus or a train is a public platform you are on. That subtle difference in how we see the space changes the preposition. Now for time. This is where the container model is so powerful. We use in for longer periods of time because we see them as containers that hold smaller units. My birthday is in November. November is a container that holds 30 days. Your birthday is one of the days inside it. He was born in 1995. The big year 1995 is a big container holding 12 months. We'll go on holiday in the summer. Summer is a container holding 3 months. I like to read in the evening. The evening is a block of time, a container. See the pattern? At is a precise point, at 5 p.m. On is a specific day on a line, on Monday. In is a period of time that contains other units, in July, in 2025. Point, surface, container. Finally, the container model for abstract ideas. This is where you see how cool the system is. She is in love. Love is an emotional state that surrounds you. You're inside it. He is in trouble. Trouble is a situation with boundaries that he's caught inside of. Please speak in English. English is a system, a container for your words. I believe in you. Your character is a conceptual container where I put my trust. So, rule number 3. If you're thinking about something being inside a boundary, enclosed or surrounded, the preposition is in. At is a point. On is a surface. In is a container. This is the model. This is the secret. It's not a rule to memorize, it's a way to think. Okay, quick pause. Is the light bulb flickering on right now? If this is starting to click and you're having that aha moment, do me a quick favour and hit that like button. It really helps me know that this method is working for you. And if you want more lessons that break down English in a completely new way, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss the next video. And if you like a private one-to-one English lesson, then please click the link in the description. Alright, this is the best part. Let's take our new model for the test drive and solve some of these super confusing preposition traps in English. This is where you really see its power. So this one trips up almost everyone. Should you say at the corner, on the corner, or in the corner? All three can be correct, but they mean different things. A grammar book tells you to memorize them. Our model tells you to just visualize the scene. Let's meet at the corner of Main Street and Elm Street. So what's the shape? It's a point. We're treating the corner as a specific meeting point, a pin on a map. We are located at that intersection point. There is a new cafe on the corner. What's the shape? It's a surface. Now we're talking about the plot of land itself. The cafe is built on that surface. The little boy is standing in the corner of the room, crying. What's the shape? It's a container. The room is a container. The corner is the space created by two walls meeting. The boy is inside that semi-enclosed space. He is contained by the walls. See? No memorization, just a visualization. Is it a meeting point? At. The ground itself? On. Or inside a room? In. The model gives you the answer. So another classic. Both are used, but the meaning changes completely. My brother is in the hospital. So what's this shape? A container. This means he's a patient. He's been admitted and is inside the system and the building for care. He's contained within the hospital's system. I am at the hospital visiting my brother. So what's the shape? A point. Here you're just stating your location. You're at a specific point on the map. You aren't a patient. You're at a specific point on a map. You aren't a patient. You could be at the hospital, at the library, or at the supermarket. It's just your location. The model instantly shows you the difference. In means you're a patient. At just means it's your location. We touched on this, but let's lock it in. Why I'm in a car, but I'm on a bus. So I'm in a car. The shape is a container. A car is a small private space. You sit down, you're enclosed. The primary feeling is being contained. I'm on a bus, on a train, on a plane. The shape is a surface or platform. These are large public vehicles. You walk onto them. You can move around on the floor. You are a passenger on a large moving platform. The primary feeling is being on a surface. The model explains why. It's not a random rule, it's about how we subconsciously see the space. This one is subtle and often feels like a pure exception. Why at night but in the morning, afternoon, the evening? I work better at night. The shape is a point. As we said, at night you usually treat night as a single block of time contrasted with day. It's the point in the 24-hour cycle when it's dark. Think of it as an event, the event of night time. I have a meeting in the morning. The shape is a container. Phrases like the morning, the afternoon, and the evening are seen as large containers of time. The morning holds several hours. Your meeting is an event that happens inside that container of time. This mental model isn't just a trick, it's the basic logic that holds these prepositions together. By using it, you're not just memorizing, you're understanding, you're decoding the language. So we've got place and time covered with our three shapes. At, the point, on, a surface, and in a container. But what about movement? The great thing is our model expands perfectly to cover this. The main prepositions of direction, to, into, and onto, are just the movement versions of the three shapes. If at is being at a point, then to is moving towards that point. I am at the shop. Your location is a point. I am going to the shop. You are moving towards that point. She is at work. Her location is a point. She drives to work every day. She moves towards that point. To is all about the destination. It's the arrow on the map pointing to the X. If on is being on a surface, then onto is the action of moving to get on that surface. The cat is on the roof. Its location is the surface. The cat jumped onto the roof. It moved to land on that surface. The keys are on the table. The location is the surface. She threw her keys onto the table. It's the action of moving them to land on the surface. Onto emphasizes the movement. I walked on the stage could mean I was already there. I walked onto the stage means I moved from off the stage to on stage. Onto is the bridge that gets you to the surface. Finally, if in is being inside a container, then into is the action of entering that container. The water is in the glass. The location is a container. He poured the water into the glass. It's the action of moving the water to the inside. She is in the room. Location is a container. She walked into the room. The action of entering the container. If you say he ran in the building, it could mean he was already inside doing laps. But he ran into the building is crystal clear. He went from outside to inside. Into is the doorway. So the system is complete. At a point has a partner. To a movement towards a point. On a surface has a partner. Onto movement to a surface. In a container has a partner. Into movement into a container. This isn't 6 different things to learn. It's the same 3-part model with a layer of movement. It's simple, logical, and you can apply it anywhere. Alright, let's take a breath and just recap what we've done here. We started out stuck in the preposition prison, surrounded by endless lists and confusing rules. We were trying to memorize our way to fluency, and it was failing. Then we found the key. We saw that the whole complex system is based on 3 simple visual shapes. At is a precise point. On is a surface or a line. In is a container. And we saw how the system expands to include movement. To is movement towards a point. Onto is movement onto a surface. Into is movement into a container. So that's it. That's the secret. This isn't just another grammar rule for you to memorize. It's a tool for your mind. It's like a new pair of glasses for seeing the hidden logic of English. From now on, stop asking what's the rule. Start asking what's the shape. When you're speaking or writing, visualize the situation. Do you see a point, a surface, or a container? The answer will give you the preposition. You're no longer guessing. You're not just pulling a memorized phrase from a file in your brain. You are actively, logically, and intuitively building meaning, just like a native speaker does. Of course, it'll take a little practice to make it a habit, but it's a habit of thinking, not just memorizing. You are officially free from the preposition prison. Mastering prepositions isn't about being perfect. Even native speakers pause sometimes to think about which word sounds best. It's about feeling confident. It's about getting rid of that hesitation that kills your fluency. The mental model we've talked about today gives you that confidence. It's a reliable system you can count on, no matter what. So go out and use it. The next time you listen to English, try to see the shapes behind the words. The next time you speak, try to visualize your ideas. Let go of the fear of making mistakes, because every try is a chance to strengthen that new intuitive muscle. I've got a challenge for you. Down in the comments, I want you to test this model out. Think of a preposition pair that has always confused you and try to explain the difference using the point, surface and container model. Or write 2 sentences using the same noun but different prepositions, like at the table and on the table, and explain what changes. Let's help each other master this. If this video helps you see English in a new way, please subscribe and maybe share it with someone else who you know who's stuck in that preposition prison. We can change how we learn English, focusing on real understanding instead of just memorizing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.